Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Peace, and may the rahmah and blessings of Allah be upon you. Jum'ah Mubarak, blessed day of gathering. This series is continuing Dhikr, and this particular one is Dhikr for mental cleansing and programming. Inshallah ta'ala, subscribe and share if you feel like the knowledge is beneficial. So, I'm going to start this one with the question. Why do we wash our clothes? See, we put on clothes, and throughout the day we eat, we drink, and the biggest organ on our body is a system, the integumentary system, the skin. We're sweating from what we eat, from what we drink. It's purified through our body systems, comes out in the sweat, goes into our clothes, and it soils our clothes. Working, you interacting with people, going out in the atmosphere, outside and whatnot, different areas, it gets into our clothes. So of course, naturally, we wash our clothes, put them in the machine, put detergent on them, wash machine turns it over with this cleaning solution. All the sediments on our clothes break free and it leaves in the water. So in the same way, we can use Dhikr, invocations or affirmations, the formula of it, to purify our minds. Energy goes where our attention flows. So throughout the day, we engage in entertainment, we engage in social media, and whatever you attach to emotionally, it goes directly into your subconscious mind. You're unaware. So it's a lot of this. Even certain thoughts that we may have, we see something, have a certain thought, and that thought seeps deep within our consciousness. And we hold on to these things and even act them out in our conscious day. Um, Peace. This happens. So this often happens that things get below our level of awareness, even when we're watching commercials and you attach to it emotionally, and that seeps into your mind. So when you go into the store or you just have thoughts of buying that product, marketers know these things, and other different experts know these things. So it's targeted. The subconscious mind is targeted. It's very important to know about the mind, how it works, and in order to actually use it, because it's an instrument, it's a tool. And the mind is a perfect slave, but it's a terrible master. So Dhikr, it purifies and as well as it programs the mind. You have formulas of affirmations, it's formulas of invocations. And just like when you put your clothes in the washing machine and put detergent on it, and it spins through a cycle and breaks that impurities free from the clothes, then goes through a rinse cycle, and then your clothes come out clean. It's the same thing with zikrullah, or invoking Allah, and invoking Allah's formulas. Because when we say you want to invoke a state of tranquility, and you use the name of Allah, the Ismullahi Salam. Even you hear certain people greet each other, Assalamu alaikum, and unto you be peace. Everything in the universe, its tranquil state or its harmonious state, it's coming from As-Salam, the peaceful one. So anything that is in harmony, all of those things are held together off of the archetype of As-Salam. So if you're invoking or using this formula of Zik, saying, Ya Salamu, oh the peaceful one, you're calling it into yourself. And you do this 100 times a day. There's a particular number I won't give here, but 100 times a day. You sit and you invoke Ya Salam, 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 Ya Salam. You in putting your mind and your attention on Salam or peace. You plant that and program that into your subconscious mind. It affects the subconscious mind because you're putting it in. You're you're feeling the state of peace. You're walking through how you will feel being peaceful. So your emotions and your attention, that plants it into the subconscious mind as a seed. In the subconscious mind, it doesn't distinguish between if something is real or it's not. It accepts things as they are. So it will come into your conscious state of being if you do this repetitively, naturally. 98% of the day, we're on autopilot. We're just enacting things that's already in our subconscious mind, down to our reactions, down to our actions. This is how the mind works. There are 5 states of consciousness: subconscious, conscious, superconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. Dhikr law, it affects 4 of these states. I've already spoke on the subconscious mind. Whether your person has trauma, these are things that's implanted and embedded in the subconscious mind. You can affect that by doing Dhikr. You begin to purify these things that we've held on to in the past. Purify your state of consciousness. Every day, what are we doing to purify this conscious state? You don't wear dirty clothes, you shouldn't. You see? So just as you wash your hands before you eat, just as you wash your clothes before you put them on, just as you clean your house before you invite people in, the same thing must be applied to our mind. The subconscious affects the conscious. So when you look at these different states, subconscious, conscious, superconsciousness, and magnetic consciousness. Magnetic consciousness, this is the reason why people's prayers and their affirmations come into existence. Regardless of what your religion is, regardless of what your affirmation practice is, you magnetize your consciousness. So when you do it with a method, a scientific method, a spiritual method, Dhikr law, you magnetize it. When I was a child, I remember I came home one day and I seen my dad, he had a screwdriver on a piece of metal. I said, "What's that?" He said, "I have it on a magnet." I'm like, "For what?" He said, "Because when you put this screwdriver onto this magnet, the magnet magnetizes the screwdriver." Then he showed me he put a screw on the screwdriver, very small screw. This one when they had big TVs with the backs on them and everything in the tube. So he would screw it, and then the screw dropped. He touched the screwdriver to the screw, and it just picked it up. And I was like, wow. So doing Dhikr law actually magnetizes your mind. You magnetize yourself. You increase your charge. So this is a working example of how the application of affirmations and Dhikr law actually affects the body. And super consciousness, this is when the subconscious and the conscious mind are in perfect unison. And this is where people start to have very sensitive intuition as well as kashif. different spiritual gifts, being able to have sight beyond sight, or to see into matters very intimately, into the batina, or the deeper realm. Many of these different things are turned on within the brain naturally. They say that we only use 10% of our brain, but that's not true at all. It's just a myth. You are able to stimulate this different activity, electromagnetic activity within the brain by doing these different mental exercises. You see, infinite consciousness is the unity of all of these realms of consciousness: subconscious, conscious, superconsciousness, and magnetic. And a person becomes or enters into infinite consciousness when they know La ilaha illallah, not the Arabic translation or interpretation into English, the actual reality of that. كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Everything on it will perish, meaning everything on the earth, everything within the universe, everything within the body, all forms within the mind will perish. And the only thing that remains is the face of Allah, Zul Jalali wal Ikram, the owner of majesty and honor. This is a state of infinite consciousness. So there are processes to affect the consciousness within yourself through dhikrullah. Also, speaking more about the magnetism, the magnetic mind, when you charge your mind in this manner and your magnetic gets very, very, very high, it attracts more of it unto itself, whatever those thoughts are, whatever that invocation is, whatever that zik is, it attracts and it accrues because of its gravity more of itself and increases, as well as it repels its opposite. This creates what's called in Western esoteric schools an egregor. Egregor is a non-physical entity or a thought form, and it arises from collective thoughts and emotions of a group of people. So when you do zikr, any all the whole wave, because in the universe things are either waves, and then that waveform collapses into a particle, and this is how you have the zahiru, or the seen, the apparent things that you can see, touch, taste, feel. You know, what you perceive through your senses. All of that comes from a waveform. So when you do zikrullah and in time and do it a lot, even do it with other people, it creates an egregor or a thought form, and that is a magnetic field. You see, and this repels and also attracts the like unto itself. In Arabic, we call it a rohani, or a spirit being. You see, it's nothing mysterious. It's just flowery language. So this is the way zik can be used for mental cleaning as well as programming. And the ultimate goal, or the ultimate how we can say reward, is infinite consciousness. And this is with the knowledge of La ilaha illallah, that Allah is the only reality, or God is the only thing which actually exists. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and 115, it says, and to Allah belongs the east and the west, and to wherever you turn yourselves or your faces, there's the face of Allah. I'll stop there. So if you have any questions, send them to the email secretofallah@gmail.com. I'll answer your questions on the next video live, as well as if you want to take the path of the secret of Allah, the Sirullahi, just send an email. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. You're welcome. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. سيدنا محمد رسول الله عليه السلام الله إن ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Share the video. Peace.